In a world where charm often masks manipulation, recognizing the sinister dance of toxic perfection is essential for survival. This book serves as a powerful lens through which we can understand the haunting relationships that leave us feeling drained and confused. This book is not merely another communication guide. It's a profound exploration of how mental health tactics can be wielded as tools of control. As we peel back the layers of flattery, we uncover the chilling truth behind the facade of perfection. Are you ready to confront the shadows that lurk within? Toxic Perfection: How Covert Narcissists Weaponize Flattery, written and published by Tangled Minds. Chapter 1: The Illusion of Flawless Charm. Imagine a workplace where one colleague appears to glide effortlessly through challenges, showering everyone with praise and warmth. Their charm captivates the team, encouraging collaboration and a sense of belonging. Yet, beneath this perfect facade lies a darker truth. This individual, an adept covert narcissist, harnesses their charisma to manipulate and control others, exploiting the vulnerabilities of those drawn to their allure. As colleagues become enamored by the flattery, they unknowingly step into a web spun from the very traits that initially attracted them. The charm that feels so inviting conceals an insidious agenda, feeding on the insecurities of others while fortifying the narcissist's fragile sense of self-worth. Why do some individuals fall victim to such manipulation? The answer often lies in their own emotional landscapes. Many people wrestle with their self-esteem and seek connection and validation. In an era increasingly marked by social media and constant comparison, the allure of someone who appears not only confident but also genuinely supportive can be irresistible. When faced with the warmth of flattery, individuals may overlook the warning signs that hint at deeper dysfunction. The sweet words and charming smiles can cloud judgment, making it easy to ignore the underlying volatility that comes into play when mental health issues are not adequately addressed. For some, the struggle with mental health becomes a catalyst for unreasonable expectations and emotional projection. People may internalize their pain and, instead of seeking healing, redirect their frustrations towards those around them. This dynamic creates a cycle where the afflicted lash out in subtle ways, cloaking their methods in false goodwill. They may not recognize that their actions stem from their hidden wounds. Instead, they may convince themselves that their behaviors are justified, even noble, as they attempt to pull others into their tumultuous world. The unhealthy reliance on emotional manipulation becomes a temporary balm for their own turmoil, albeit one that leaves scars on those who are ensnared. Few are aware of the extent to which this dance of illusion plays out in everyday life. It's easy to label the charming individual as simply confident, while overlooking their ability to weaponize their charm. This adeptness in manipulation is rarely discussed, leaving those targeted lost in confusion. Why do they feel compelled to please someone who, in turn, exploits their vulnerabilities? The misleading image of perfection can easily lead to feelings of inadequacy, as those drawn to the charm strive for validation from the very source that holds them captive. As we delve deeper into understanding the illusion of flawless charm, it becomes imperative for readers to reflect on their experiences. Each interaction can be a lesson in manipulation and emotional reliance, prompting a reevaluation of boundaries and self-worth. By recognizing these patterns, individuals can begin to reclaim their power and safeguard their mental health. A critical awareness of how charm can mask control offers a path toward healthier relationships and a more authentic interaction with the world. The journey of uncovering these hidden truths does not happen overnight, but it is a necessary step in breaking free from the cycles perpetuated by toxic perfection. Continuing the exploration of the illusion of flawless charm, it's crucial to understand the far-reaching effects this manipulation can have on individuals who find themselves ensnared. Consider Sarah, a dedicated professional who found herself drawn to a charismatic manager. At first, his praise fueled her confidence and motivated her to excel. However, over time, Sarah experienced a profound shift. The flattery morphed into unrealistic expectations and vague criticism. She began to doubt her abilities, perpetually second-guessing herself. Psychologically, this aligns with the concept of intermittent reinforcement, where a person becomes conditioned to seek validation from someone who is emotionally unpredictable. Instead of building her self-worth, Sarah's energy became consumed by the need for approval, creating a cycle of dependency that left her feeling drained and insecure. Psychological research supports this notion, particularly studies focusing on gaslighting, the manipulative technique that distorts reality. When individuals are subjected to deceit disguised as care, they may experience significant disorientation and confusion. According to the American Psychological Association, constant emotional manipulation can lead to anxiety, depression, and even post-traumatic stress disorder. The vulnerability created by flattery enables manipulators to exert control, often resulting in long-term psychological harm. The urgency to recognize and address these tactics becomes paramount, especially in environments where charm and charisma are prized. The danger lies in underestimating a seemingly harmless personality trait. This undercutting of one's self-esteem can be devastating over time. Another case study, that of David, sheds light on the systematic erasure of personal agency experienced by those caught in the grip of toxic affection. Initially enchanted by the way his girlfriend expressed constant admiration, he soon realized that her flattery came with strings attached. When he failed to meet her lofty expectations, hallmarks of covert narcissism, she would withdraw her affection altogether. This manipulative ebb and flow not only led David to lose his sense of self, but also reinforced the belief that his worth was contingent upon pleasing her. Research suggests that such emotional dependency creates an unhealthy attachment that can be difficult to break, as it intertwines love with elements of control. Emotional and psychological damage permeates the recipient's life, affecting relationships beyond the immediate situation. The emotional toll on individuals subjected to this dynamic cannot be overstated. Confusion sets in when those at the receiving end question their own judgment. They may grapple with feelings of inadequacy, struggling to assert their needs and desires. This interplay of charm and control dulls their ability to trust their intuition, compelling them to remain entangled in relationships that diminish their self-esteem. Furthermore, the desire to please the manipulator can lead to exhaustion and reluctance to engage in meaningful connections with others, stifling personal growth. Recognizing the urgency of addressing these tactics is crucial. Being aware of how charm can be weaponized allows individuals to reclaim their power and protect their mental well-being. It is not simply a matter of navigating interpersonal relationships, but rather an urgent call to defend one's identity against the insidious influences that permeate our lives. The journey to liberation starts with understanding these psychological traps, crafting a pathway toward healing and self-advocacy. In the upcoming section, we will uncover the hidden warning signs that many overlook, clues that can illuminate the path to protection against the charms of those who may not have our best interests at heart. Continuing from our exploration of the illusion of flawless charm, it's essential to examine the ripple effect of toxic perfection on those surrounding the manipulator. Consider the case of Lucy, a devoted friend who has always recognized the superficial kindness exuded by her partner Mark. At first, Mark's charm made Lucy feel special and loved, but as time went on, it became clear that Mark's behavior affected not just Lucy, but also her other relationships. When Mark engaged in subtle criticisms or dismissed Lucy's achievements, it not only depleted her self-esteem, but also strained her friendships. Friends who once enjoyed Lucy's vivacious personality began noticing her withdrawal, which they initially attributed to work stress. However, as they witnessed the effects of Mark's emotional manipulation, the realization dawned that his charm was a facade, one that concealed an insidious control dynamic, altering Lucy's very essence. Caregivers, too, are caught in the crossfire of covert narcissism. Take the scenario of Trevor, a caretaker for his elderly mother, who has been living with mental health challenges. Initially, Trevor's mother would shower him with praise for his dedication, tightening the bond between them. Yet her dependence on him for emotional support gradually escalated. Trevor found himself constant validation seeking, feeling obligated to fulfill her expectations while shouldering the weight of her mental health struggles. The relentless cycle of flattery soon turned into emotional blackmail, as his mother would express hurt over unrealistic demands, reinforcing Trevor's guilt and creating an atmosphere of obligation rather than support. This pattern not only deteriorated Trevor's emotional health, but left him questioning his capacity to care for both himself and his mother. The impact of these manipulative behaviors extends to workplaces as well, influencing colleagues and disrupting team dynamics. Consider the case of Angela, a driven team leader whose project success was inextricably linked to a particularly charming colleague, Jordan. Initially, Jordan's praise seemed to bolster Angela's confidence, but gradually, his method of praise intertwined with subtle jabs that left her feeling inadequate. Angela's colleagues noticed her performance waning, her innovative spirit dimming under Jordan's influence. As his charm diverted attention away from her contributions, colleagues felt the rift growing, but many were reluctant to intervene for fear of discord. This scenario highlights how sneakily destructive charm can be when precision and control masquerade as support. The scenarios outlined reveal patterns that many may witness in their own lives, uncovering the pervasive nature of emotional manipulation. In each case, the individuals affected bear the burden of altered self-perceptions, diminished joy, and strained relationships with others. They become agents of their own collateral damage, often unaware of how toxic behaviors infiltrate their lives, impacting social circles, family dynamics, and professional relationships. Awareness of these patterns is not merely beneficial, it is critical for self-defense. Understanding these manipulation tactics equips individuals with the tools needed to recognize charm as a potential warning sign rather than an unequivocal attribute of a good person. Identifying these dynamics is the first step in resisting the allure of toxic perfection. The journey to personal empowerment begins with the ability to scrutinize the relationships surrounding us and understanding when benevolence veers into manipulation. As we move forward into the next part of this chapter, we will delve deeper into the escalation of control, exploring how victims become ensnared in relentless cycles that can be incredibly difficult to break. Chapter 2: The Hidden Wounds Behind Perfectionism. In an age where success is often measured by immaculate appearances and relentless achievements, the wounds inflicted by perfectionism remain hidden yet profound. Recognizing that the desire to appear flawless often stems from deep-seated insecurities is crucial for personal transformation. Studies suggest that about 30% of individuals may struggle with perfectionistic tendencies, contributing to anxiety, depression, and feelings of inadequacy. Experts from the American Psychological Association have linked perfectionism not only to heightened stress, but also to impaired relationships and emotional well-being, paving the way for a cycle of self-criticism that seems unbreakable. Consider the story of Emily, a high-achieving student whose life revolved around obtaining the highest grades and accolades. While her peers admired her discipline, few understood the toll it took on her mental health. Emily often lay awake at night, paralyzed by the fear of not meeting her own unrealistic standards. The quest for perfection drove her to feel isolated, as she could not accept the notion of failure or the imperfection of her peers. This isolating behavior is not uncommon. Many individuals, like Emily, internalize societal pressures and expectations, believing that self-worth is derived solely from flawless performance. The emergence of social media has exacerbated these pressures, creating a breeding ground for toxic comparisons that can leave individuals feeling inadequate. According to a survey conducted by the Royal Society for Public Health, social media platforms rank highly for triggering anxiety, depression, and loneliness, fed by the curated lives of others. The incessant exposure to seemingly perfect lives perpetuates a cycle of self-scrutiny and dissatisfaction, laying fertile ground for the seeds of perfectionism to sprout. Psychologists have identified that perfectionism can be rooted in various origins, including upbringing and societal expectations. Many individuals grow up in environments where high standards are not just encouraged but mandated. This mindset is further fueled by the larger cultural context that equates worth with achievement. As a result, the pursuit of perfection becomes a defense mechanism against feelings of inadequacy, reinforcing the belief that only through flawlessness can one be loved or accepted. This realization can be daunting, yet it serves as the beginning of understanding and healing. The good news is that change is within reach, and it begins with recognizing one's own patterns. By identifying and confronting the origins of these hidden wounds, individuals can start to release the grip of perfectionism, transforming their mindset. Journaling has proven effective for many seeking to untangle their thoughts and emotions. Through this practice, they can articulate their fears and feelings surrounding perfectionism. Setting realistic goals and embracing the concept of good enough fosters a more compassionate relationship with oneself and ignites personal transformation. Letting go of the constraints imposed by perfectionism does not happen overnight. It requires acknowledgement and active effort. Engaging with supportive communities, whether through therapy, workshops, or peer groups, can create shared experiences that empower individuals to dismantle the perfectionist facade. This journey not only promotes healing, but also inspires confidence. Confidence in embracing flaws, seeking balance, and cultivating a life that values authenticity over constant achievement. As readers begin to understand the hidden wounds behind perfectionism, they may find a renewed sense of hope and control over their lives. In this chapter, we will explore practical strategies to alleviate these pressures and cultivate a mindset that prioritizes self-acceptance. Embracing imperfections is not a concession. It is a means of reclaiming one's joy and emotional well-being, paving the path for a more fulfilling existence. Continuing from the understanding of how hidden wounds from perfectionism can infringe upon mental well-being, it is essential to recognize effective strategies that empower both the individual grappling with perfectionistic tendencies and those they may encounter. One of the most effective approaches involves cultivating a mindset of self-compassion. Research shows that self-compassion can counteract the negative impacts associated with perfectionism, offering myriad benefits for emotional health. By learning to treat oneself with kindness rather than harsh judgment, individuals can significantly alleviate the self-imposed pressures of perfection. Consider the case of Jordan, a manager who had always pushed himself to be the best in his career. Driven by perfectionism, he often felt anxious and stressed, fearing any misstep would cost him his position. In an effort to improve his situation, he began practicing self-compassion through mindfulness exercises. Instead of reprimanding himself for minor mistakes, he started talking to himself as he would to a close friend, acknowledging his imperfections and recognizing that everyone makes errors. This shift not only reduced his anxiety, but also improved his decision-making, allowing him to see challenges from a clearer perspective. His renewed sense of self-worth, divorced from an obsession with perfection, transformed his leadership style, creating a more open and supportive work environment. This same principle applies to individuals supporting those with mental health challenges. When caregivers or friends adopt self-compassionate practices, they equip themselves to provide meaningful support without incurring emotional exhaustion. Sarah, whose partner struggled with depression, initially approached her role with an overwhelming desire to fix everything. This sense of obligation was compounded by her own perfectionist tendencies, leading her to neglect her needs. However, after learning about setting healthy boundaries through self-compassion, she realized that offering support doesn't mean sacrificing her emotional health. By affirming her limitations and practicing self-care, Sarah was able to listen to her partner without becoming emotionally depleted. As Sarah discovered balance in her life, she became a more present caregiver, enhancing the support she provided. The urgency in adopting these strategies cannot be overstated. A culture centered on high achievement can often vilify mistakes, contributing to the stigma surrounding mental health challenges. A mindset grounded in self-compassion allows for a more inclusive atmosphere that encourages vulnerability rather than isolation. This shift benefits individuals facing mental health issues, creating safe spaces where they can express themselves without fear of judgment. Real-life examples abound, with research confirming that environments fostering self-compassion can lead to greater overall satisfaction and improved well-being. Findings from clinical psychology studies indicate that practicing self-compassion reduces fear of failure, enhancing resilience and emotional health. As individuals embrace their imperfections and those of their loved ones, communication flourishes. Partners and friends can engage in open discussions about vulnerabilities, creating deeper connections that foster healing. As we delve further into the dynamics of perfectionism and its ramifications, it's vital to recognize that the journey to self-acceptance lays the groundwork for transformative change. This budding self-awareness cultivates strong foundations for relationships, fueling a cycle of growth that invigorates both the individual and the support network around them. The next part of this chapter will explore actionable strategies and exercises designed to further empower readers, guiding them in reshaping their attitudes toward perfection and fostering a healthier mental landscape for themselves and those they care about. As we venture into practical steps for embracing self-compassion, it's essential to treat this journey as a process, a series of small, manageable actions that pave the way toward lasting change. The first step is to cultivate self-awareness, allowing you to recognize moments when self-criticism arises. Start by keeping a journal and noting instances where you find yourself being overly critical. Reflect on what triggered those thoughts and how you felt afterward. This exercise helps pinpoint your perfectionistic tendencies and sets the stage for transformation. Next, practice the art of self-kindness whenever you identify a negative thought. Rather than harshly judging yourself, pause and reframe your thoughts. Imagine how you would comfort a friend going through a similar struggle. Speak to yourself with the same gentleness. For instance, if you make a mistake at work, rather than berating yourself with thoughts like, "I can't believe I messed that up," try shifting to, "It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. I'll learn from this." Engaging in this simple act of kindness can spark a shift in your internal dialogue, fostering a sense of acceptance rather than perfection. In addition to reframing self-talk, focus on integrating mindfulness into your daily routine. Mindfulness encourages living in the present and opens the door to embracing imperfections. Dedicate a few minutes each day to mindfulness meditation. Sit in a comfortable space, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Acknowledge any thoughts that arise without judgment, letting them float away like leaves on a stream. This exercise cultivates the ability to observe your thoughts from a distance, reducing their emotional weight and enabling a kinder approach to your imperfections. You'll also benefit from establishing a support network. Connecting with others who understand your journey can amplify your resolve. Share your experiences with trusted friends or family, and invite them to discuss their struggles with perfectionism. This practice not only builds camaraderie, but also reinforces the idea that you are not alone in your challenges. Small group settings, such as a weekly self-compassion gathering, can provide even more encouragement and camaraderie. Another effective exercise involves creating a self-compassion mantra. Each morning, verbalize a positive affirmation that resonates with your journey. Phrases like, "I am enough just as I am," or "Perfection is not the goal, progress is," can help to anchor your mindset throughout the day. The success of this exercise lies in repetition and conviction. Over time, these affirmations will become embedded in your subconscious, making it easier to embrace self-compassion in daily life. As you pursue these strategies, remember the importance of maintaining boundaries. While supporting others is invaluable, avoid losing yourself in the process. Schedule regular self-care moments throughout your week, whether that's a walk in nature, a soothing bath, or a quiet evening with a favorite book. Prioritizing your well-being will reinforce your ability to provide empathetic support to those who need it. As we draw this chapter to a close, remember that every step you take in cultivating self-compassion directly impacts not only your own journey, but also enhances the relationships you hold dear. The positivity that flows from your renewed mindset can create ripples of change around you. Next, we will explore the escalation of control that can occur within relationships, casting light on the signs that indicate when the dynamic may be shifting beyond healthy boundaries. Together, we will uncover ways to safeguard both your well-being and the connections that matter to you. And as we embark on this vital exploration, I encourage you to subscribe to Mindset Liberation, leave a like, and share your thoughts or suggestions. Your engagement inspires growth and connection in our shared journey. Chapter 3: How praise becomes a silent trap. Praise can be as intoxicating as it is dangerous, building a fragile facade that can easily shatter under the weight of unmet expectations. The allure of compliments and accolades has the power to uplift us, but can morph into a silent trap when they become entangled with our self-worth. Recognizing the dual nature of praise is essential for individuals to reclaim their agency. Research reveals that approximately 70% of people struggle with internalizing praise, often leading to anxiety and feelings of inadequacy when they believe they failed to meet those standards. Understanding how praise can sow the seeds of dependence and insecurity is the first step toward breaking this cycle. Consider the story of Jenna, a talented graphic designer known for her creativity. Initially, her colleagues praised her work, which fueled her ambition and passion. However, over time, Jenna began to associate her sense of worth solely with the approval of others. When feedback didn't match her expectations or if she faced criticism, she spiraled into self-doubt. This experience is not unique. Many individuals like Jenna entwine their identities with external validation, leading to stress and burnout when they cannot sustain that high level of performance. Studies in psychology indicate that when praise is tied to competence and achievement, it can create a distorted self-image, making individuals fear failure more than they value growth. During a period of heightened competition in her workplace, Jenna found herself trapped in a cycle of anxiety. The pressure to produce flawless work became overwhelming, and she constantly sought validation from her peers and bosses. Social comparison compounded the issue, with Jenna often scrolling through platforms like Instagram, comparing her success to that of others. She felt obligated to maintain the image of perfection, while losing touch with her authentic self. The statistics on social media's impact are stark. Research indicates that platforms can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy among users, especially those prone to perfectionist tendencies. Through Jenna's journey, we see a familiar pattern. The praise that once empowered her transformed into a weight that threatened to crush her spirit. So, what can be done to transform this paradigm? The first crucial step is recognizing that self-worth should not hinge on external approval. Understanding that compliments are reflections of the efforts others see, rather than definitive verdicts of our value, is paramount. By internalizing the belief that one's worth is innate and not contingent on achievement, individuals can begin to detach from the pressure of needing constant validation. Self-reflection plays a vital role in this transformation. Individuals can begin journaling their thoughts and feelings about the praise they receive. By documenting moments when they felt uplifted versus times when they felt trapped or anxious, they can identify the distinguishing factors that contributed to those feelings. This exercise of self-awareness fosters understanding and compassion toward oneself. Furthermore, practicing gratitude toward oneself enhances this process. Gratitude needs to shift from external accolades to internal appreciation. Instead of solely celebrating achievements, celebrate the effort, courage, and resilience that led to those achievements. By focusing on the journey rather than just the destination, individuals cultivate a sense of accomplishment that does not rely on someone else's approval. As we delve deeper into understanding how praise can turn into a silent trap, recognizing these patterns provides a pathway toward liberation. Giving oneself permission to embrace imperfections, to value personal growth over external validation, and to redefine success creates a powerful shift in mindset. This journey is about reclaiming one's story, allowing individuals to step into their authenticity with confidence. In the next section, we will explore practical strategies to navigate this treacherous terrain, uncovering ways to harness praise without falling prey to its potential pitfalls. Continuing from the understanding of how praise can evolve into a silent trap, it becomes vital to implement strategies that empower both the individual receiving praise and those offering it, especially when mental health challenges are at play. One of the most effective approaches is the practice of offering specific and constructive feedback rather than general praise. This strategy not only helps to cultivate a healthier self-image, but also fosters an environment of genuine support for everyone involved. Research shows that specific feedback can enhance motivation and self-efficacy, allowing individuals to focus on their strengths without tying their self-worth to external validation. Consider the case of Michael, a high school teacher who noticed that his students often deflated after receiving generic compliments. While he praised their work with phrases like, "Great job," without further elaboration, many students felt they hadn't earned true recognition. This led to anxiety around their performance, as they craved more meaningful acknowledgement. After attending a professional development workshop on effective feedback, Michael learned to articulate specific praise. Instead of general affirmations, he began providing tailored comments about students' strengths, such as, "I really appreciated how you structured your argument in the essay. It illustrated your critical thinking skills beautifully." Over time, Michael observed a notable change. His students became more engaged and confident in their abilities, as they now had a clearer understanding of what success looked like. The importance of specificity in praise extends beyond educational contexts and can be applied in various domains such as workplaces and personal relationships. In a corporate setting, mentorship often plays a crucial role in creating a supportive environment. Take Sarah, a project manager who previously struggled with self-doubt. With the help of her mentor, she implemented specific feedback techniques. In team meetings, instead of offering vague compliments to her colleagues, she took the time to highlight unique contributions from each team member. For instance, she would say, "Your analysis of the data really pinpointed where we need to focus our marketing efforts, and that insight has driven our strategy." This not only boosted her colleagues' confidence, but also fostered an atmosphere of collaboration and constructive dialogue. This strategic shift proves effective not only for those receiving the feedback, but also for individuals managing mental health challenges. When we provide meaningful praise, we create a culture of acceptance and understanding, reducing the burden of performance-related anxiety. For instance, Emily, an employee coping with anxiety, felt pressured by the generic praise she often received from her supervisors. However, her work environment changed when her team adopted specific recognition practices. When her contribution was acknowledged with clear compliments about how her skills positively impacted a project, Emily felt genuinely seen. This validation led her to adopt a more positive self-image, which in turn alleviated some of her anxiety in the workplace. It's crucial to understand that specificity in praise can break cycles of invalidation and contributes to healthier self-perception. This proactive approach allows individuals to concentrate on their strengths while feeling supported in their journey of growth. As recipients learn to appreciate specific feedback, they begin to build self-efficacy and internal motivation rather than relying solely on external approval. Recognizing this pattern empowers individuals to embrace a healthier relationship with themselves and others. The urgency of implementing these strategies cannot be understated. They hold the potential to dismantle the silent traps that accompany vague praise and promote a sustainable sense of self-worth. As we transition to the next part of this chapter, we will explore actionable techniques for transforming praise into a constructive force, enabling individuals to fortify their mental resilience and embrace authenticity without fear of inadequacy. As we embark on the journey of transforming praise from a potential pitfall into a powerful tool for growth, it's essential to adopt a structured approach that promotes clarity and self-awareness. The first step is to cultivate mindfulness about how you give and receive praise. Start by taking a moment to reflect on your recent interactions. When someone offered you praise, how did you respond? Did you brush it off or did you internalize it? Consider journaling these reflections, as this will help you identify patterns in both your responses and your feelings about the praise you receive. Next, begin implementing specific feedback techniques in your daily life. If you are in a work environment, practice offering constructive praise to your colleagues. Use the specificity sandwich method. Start with positive feedback about something they did well, follow it with constructive criticism if necessary, and conclude with further positive reinforcement. For example, you might say, "I really appreciated the effort you put into this report. Your insights were invaluable." One area for improvement could be to streamline the data presentation a bit more, but overall, fantastic job. This approach maintains a balance of recognition and growth, fostering a healthy environment where feedback is valued. For those receiving praise, practice the art of appreciation without attachment. When you receive compliments, consciously acknowledge them without immediately seeking to downplay your contributions. A simple shift in mindset can be powerful. When someone praises your work, instead of saying, "Oh, it was nothing," respond with, "Thank you. I'm really proud of what I accomplished." This affirmation reinforces the positive feedback, allowing you to accept and internalize it without tying your worth solely to that validation. Incorporating small wins into your daily routine can help build momentum. Set aside time each week to reevaluate your achievements and celebrate even the minor ones. If you completed a project or met a personal goal, take a moment to recognize that effort. Use sticky notes to jot down these accomplishments, placing them in visible spots around your workspace or home. Each positive nod to your progress will serve as a constant reminder of your capabilities and help to reshape your self-perception over time. Balancing the act of helping others while maintaining your own well-being is vital. Check in with yourself periodically throughout the day. If you sense feelings of overwhelm creeping in, pause and engage in a brief mindfulness exercise. This can be as simple as taking 3 deep breaths or stepping away for a few minutes to gather your thoughts. This practice not only nurtures your own mental health, but also ensures you are present and engaged when offering support to others, allowing you to give without depleting your own energy reserves. As this chapter concludes, remember that the strategies discussed empower you to embrace praise without fear of inadequacy. By focusing on specific feedback and practicing self-acceptance, you can cultivate a more resilient self-image while fostering healthier relationships. In the next chapter, we will dive into the intricate dynamics of emotional manipulation disguised as concern, helping you unveil the warning signs that often go unnoticed. This knowledge will further arm you with the tools needed to navigate interpersonal relationships confidently. Before we move on, don't forget to subscribe to Mindset Liberation and give this video a thumbs up. Your engagement is invaluable. Please share your thoughts and suggestions for future topics, as your input helps shape our journey together. Let's continue this path of growth, transformation, and resilience. Chapter 4: Recognizing Emotional Manipulation Disguised as Care. In the maze of human relationships, the line separating genuine concern from emotional manipulation can often blur, leaving individuals feeling confused, exhausted, and emotionally drained. Recognizing emotional manipulation is key to reclaiming your power and fostering healthier connections. Research indicates that 60% of individuals experience some form of emotional manipulation in their relationships, whether from partners, family members, or colleagues. Understanding the underlying tactics of manipulation is crucial for personal empowerment and emotional well-being. Consider the story of Lisa, a devoted friend who often found herself at the mercy of her friend Sarah's seemingly caring requests. Sarah frequently turned to Lisa when she was in distress, leading Lisa to feel that her role was to be the emotional anchor. Initially, Lisa welcomed the opportunity to support her friend, believing this to be an expression of friendship. However, over time, she began to feel an unspoken obligation to prioritize Sarah's needs above her own. Instead of gratitude, Lisa often received guilt-inducing comments when she couldn't immediately be available. Statements like, "I thought you were my best friend. Why can't you just be there for me?" left Lisa feeling manipulated. This scenario underscores how emotional manipulation, under the guise of concern, can create cycles of guilt and resentment. The origins of this emotional manipulation often lie in learned behavior from preceding generations or societal expectations. Many individuals grow up in environments where showing vulnerability is viewed as weakness, leading them to adopt manipulative strategies to elicit support from others. In a survey by the American Psychological Association, nearly 55% of respondents admitted to employing some form of manipulation to navigate their relationships, suggesting that many might not even realize the implications of their behavior. Understanding the statistics and personal accounts can help you realize that you are not alone in this struggle. The emotional toll of manipulative relationships is not trivial. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and decreased self-worth as individuals question their boundaries and ability to assert themselves. Moreover, experts emphasize how this can perpetuate unhealthy cycles, where the manipulated individual becomes increasingly reliant on the manipulator for affirmation and support. Transforming your mindset begins with a commitment to self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your relationships and the dynamics at play. Do you often feel drained, guilty, or anxious after interactions? Identifying these patterns and acknowledging them is the first step toward breaking free from emotional manipulation. A pivotal aspect of this transformation is recognizing the difference between genuine concern and emotional guilt tripping. Cultivating assertiveness is also integral to this process. Learning to express your needs and feelings accurately can be liberating. Instead of succumbing to guilt, practice saying no when necessary and articulate your boundaries with clarity. For instance, if a friend frequently demands your time, examining your feelings and stating, "I care about you, but I need some time for myself right now," can foster healthier interaction dynamics. As readers engage with these insights and techniques, it's imperative to remember that you are empowered to reshape your interactions. The journey of recognizing emotional manipulation does not mean severing ties with those who care about you, but transforming your relationships into more balanced and fulfilling connections. You possess the capacity to advocate for yourself while still being supportive, reclaiming your emotional freedom. In the next part of this chapter, we will delve deeper into the specific warning signs of emotional manipulation and explore practical tools to help you navigate these perilous waters with confidence and clarity. Remember, understanding these dynamics is the first step toward fostering healthier relationships, grounded in mutual respect and genuine care. Continuing from our exploration of recognizing emotional manipulation as it masquerades under the guise of care, it becomes essential to understand why cultivating assertiveness and setting boundaries can significantly improve the dynamics of both the individual experiencing manipulation and those who may be navigating mental health challenges. For the individual, establishing clear boundaries provides a robust framework for emotional safety and self-preservation, minimizing vulnerability to manipulation. This assertive stance empowers them to articulate their needs without fear of guilt or dependency, fostering a sense of agency that is often stripped away in manipulative relationships. Consider the case of Tom, who worked in a team where one colleague, Mark, relied heavily on others for emotional support. Mark often expressed distress when his colleagues would prioritize their work over his emotional needs. Initially, Tom felt compelled to accommodate Mark, believing it was an essential aspect of teamwork. However, over time, Tom noticed mounting stress and resentment as he neglected his own responsibilities. Recognizing the emotional manipulation at play, Tom decided to implement boundaries by expressing his limits clearly. When Mark approached him in a time of need, Tom adeptly communicated, "I understand you're going through a tough time, but I need to finish this project first. Let's talk later." This assertive response redirected the expectation of constant support, while also encouraging Mark to seek healthier outlets for his emotional struggles. For individuals dealing with mental health challenges, establishing boundaries is crucial in fostering a supportive environment that encourages recovery. When friends or family members engage in manipulative behaviors under the guise of concern, it often increases feelings of anxiety and depression in the affected individual. For instance, Leah battled anxiety and often felt overwhelmed when people around her insisted on helping her manage her conditions by second-guessing her decisions. She realized that her loved ones, although well-meaning, were inadvertently adding to her distress. By gently asserting her needs, Leah communicated to her family, "I appreciate your concern, but I know what's best for me right now. I will reach out to you if I need help." This simple yet profound adjustment not only allowed Leah to reclaim her autonomy, but also prompted her family to recognize the importance of respecting her choices. Effective communication and the willingness to express personal boundaries can lead to significant changes in relational dynamics. Experts emphasize that practicing assertiveness nurtures more balanced relationships, where mutual respect thrives. As individuals create an environment grounded in understanding, Those with mental health challenges can feel empowered rather than overwhelmed by the expectations of others. The urgency in adopting this strategy is underscored by the potential for healing. When individuals stand firm in their boundaries, they not only protect their well-being but also model healthy relational behaviors for others. Furthermore, the act of setting boundaries often inspires those around them to examine their own behaviors. In Tom's and Leah's cases, the individuals they engaged with became more aware of their emotional dynamics, which encouraged open dialogue about support and needs. This shift promotes an ecosystem of awareness, allowing all parties involved to address their emotional health more holistically. As readers navigate the complexities of emotional manipulation and the power of boundaries, there lies a profound opportunity to reclaim the narrative of their relationships. Courageously asserting oneself creates ripples of change that positively impact both personal mental health and the emotional landscape of one's support system. In the next section of this chapter, we will further dissect the specific tactics of emotional manipulation, equipping you with the insights needed to safeguard your emotional well-being and foster healthier connections. Recognizing these tactics is a crucial step in your journey toward nurturing relationships rooted in respect and authenticity. As we move into actionable strategies for recognizing emotional manipulation and establishing boundaries, it's important to approach this process with clarity and intention. The first step is to cultivate self-awareness. Begin by taking a moment to reflect on your relationships. Journal your thoughts about interactions where you've felt pressure or guilt to conform to someone else's needs. Identify patterns that emerge, such as feeling exhausted after certain exchanges or sensing a lack of reciprocity. This self-reflection will not only help you recognize where manipulation may be occurring, but will also lay the groundwork for building assertiveness in your interactions. Once you have identified these patterns, the next step is practicing assertive communication. Start by using I statements to express your feelings and needs clearly. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," reframe that as, "I feel unheard when my opinions are dismissed." This approach lowers defensiveness in conversations and encourages a more constructive dialogue. To build confidence in asserting your needs, practice these statements in front of a mirror or with a trusted confidant. Role-playing can significantly help you feel more at ease when it comes to expressing your thoughts in real-life situations. As you become more comfortable with assertive communication, it may be helpful to set specific, manageable boundaries in your relationships. Identify one or two areas where you feel pressured and determine what limits you wish to establish. Communicate these boundaries clearly and kindly. For instance, you might say to a friend who frequently asks for favors, "I value our friendship, but I'm unable to help with everything. I need to focus on my personal projects right now." This clarity will not only protect your well-being, but will also convey respect for both your boundaries and the friendship itself. Incorporate small wins into this process to motivate and empower yourself. Start by asserting your boundaries in low-stakes situations, such as declining an invitation or setting aside specific time for self-care. Celebrate these wins, no matter how small. Perhaps you plan a quiet evening for yourself after a busy week, or you chose not to respond to a text immediately, prioritizing your mental peace over immediate availability. Each success reinforces your ability to uphold your boundaries, gradually building momentum toward greater self-assurance. Maintaining a balance between helping others and prioritizing your well-being is essential throughout this journey. Consider scheduling regular self-care activities that recharge your energy, whether that means reading a book, practicing mindfulness, or taking a leisurely walk. Be mindful of your emotional state and recognize when you begin to feel overwhelmed. If you notice signs of fatigue or stress, remind yourself that it's okay to take a step back. Helping others is important, but not at the expense of your own mental health. When you preserve your well-being, you're in a much stronger position to support those around you meaningfully. As we wrap up this chapter, remember that recognizing emotional manipulation and establishing boundaries is a fundamental step toward cultivating healthier relationships and nurturing your emotional health. In the next chapter, we will uncover red flags and specific tactics used in emotional manipulation, equipping you with the tools to identify them swiftly. This knowledge is vital for empowering you in your interactions and safeguarding your well-being. Before we continue, I encourage you to subscribe to Mindset Liberation for more insights and actionable strategies. If you found value in this chapter, please give it a like and don't hesitate to share your thoughts in the comments. Your feedback is instrumental in shaping our journey together as we foster a supportive community focused on personal growth and resilience. Chapter 5. Setting Boundaries Without Guilt or Fear. Setting boundaries is not just a necessary element of healthy relationships. It is a powerful act of self-care that enables personal growth and emotional freedom. Every individual has the right to define their own limits and to communicate those limits clearly without feeling guilt or fear of retribution. Unfortunately, many struggle with this essential skill, often leading to burnout, resentment, and diminished self-worth. Research shows that approximately 76% of individuals have difficulty asserting their boundaries due to fear of confrontation or the belief that their needs are less important than those of others. Understanding the origins and implications of this hesitance is crucial for reclaiming personal power. These challenges often begin in childhood, where many people learn that putting others first is a virtue. Cultural and familial expectations can reinforce the idea that being accommodating and nurturing to others is synonymous with worthiness. For example, if a child is consistently praised for being helpful or thoughtful while disregarding their own needs, they may grow into adulthood feeling guilty for asserting personal boundaries. This deeply ingrained mindset creates a cycle that can lead to mental health issues, including anxiety and depression, as individuals struggle to balance their own needs with those of others. Real-life scenarios further illustrate this pervasive issue. Take the case of George, a dedicated employee who constantly worried about disappointing his supervisor. When asked to take on additional tasks, he obliged, even if it meant sacrificing his own time and well-being. Over time, George found himself overwhelmed and exhausted, struggling to manage his growing workload. His inability to set boundaries resulted in not only a decline in job satisfaction but also a significant increase in stress levels. For George, the fear of disappointing others clouded his ability to advocate for himself, highlighting a common predicament faced by many. The power of setting boundaries lies in the liberation it provides. When individuals recognize that their needs are valid and worthy of respect, they can begin to communicate their limits effectively. This realization fosters a sense of confidence and control over one's life. It helps to reframe the notion of boundaries from being restrictive to being protective, creating space for growth and personal fulfillment. Understanding this shift is essential as it not only protects individual well-being but also enhances the health of relationships. Encouragingly, the journey toward assertiveness can begin with small, manageable steps. Start by identifying the areas in your life where you feel discomfort or overextended. Are there specific requests or demands from others that leave you feeling drained? Reflecting on these situations can help pinpoint where boundaries need to be established. Begin practicing simple phrases that articulate your needs. Statements like, "I need some time for myself this weekend," or "I cannot take on additional projects right now." This practice builds confidence and empowers you to assert your needs in various scenarios. Furthermore, educating yourself on the psychological benefits of boundary setting can bolster your resolve. Studies indicate that people who establish healthy boundaries often report increased happiness, lower stress levels, and improved relationships. Knowing that effective boundaries yield positive outcomes can inspire you to overcome any guilt associated with setting limits. Ultimately, mastering the art of setting boundaries is an ongoing process that will require patience and practice. As you begin to assert yourself, remind yourself that your needs and well-being are just as important as those of others. In the upcoming sections, we will explore practical strategies for implementing boundaries in everyday life and address common fears associated with this crucial skill. By the end of this chapter, you will feel equipped to honor your limits while cultivating healthier, more fulfilling relationships. The journey toward emotional empowerment is yours to embrace, and the first step is acknowledging that it's perfectly acceptable to prioritize yourself. Continuing on the journey of setting boundaries without guilt or fear, it is critical to understand why this strategy benefits not only the individual asserting the boundaries, but also those around them, especially when mental health challenges are involved. Establishing clear boundaries fosters a healthier dynamic where everyone involved can feel empowered and respected. For the individual, setting boundaries reduces the risk of burnout, anxiety, and emotional distress, leading to a more balanced life. For those experiencing mental health challenges such as depression or anxiety, having a partner, friend, or colleague who enforces and respects boundaries creates an environment of safety and understanding, allowing individuals to navigate their struggles without added pressure. Take the example of Claire, a caregiver for her younger sister, who battles severe anxiety. Initially, Claire found herself burdened by the constant need to attend to her sister's emotional distress, often neglecting her well-being in the process. Realizing that her well-being depended on asserting boundaries, Claire began setting specific limits on how much time she could devote to caregiving. She communicated to her sister, "I want to support you, but I also need time for my own mental health. Let's set aside specific times to talk." This shift not only empowered Claire but also allowed her sister the space to develop coping mechanisms independently. By establishing boundaries, Claire created a healthier relationship dynamic, leading to improved mental wellness for both of them. Moreover, the effectiveness of setting boundaries can be observed in a workplace context. Consider the scenario of David, a project manager who frequently overcommitted to tasks to avoid disappointing his team. David realized that consistently stretching himself thin was leading to chronic stress and reduced productivity. By implementing the strategy of clearly defined boundaries in his work life, he began communicating to his team when he was at full capacity, saying, "I can take on this project next month, but right now, I need to focus on my current commitments." This not only alleviated David's stress, but also fostered a culture of transparency and mutual respect among his colleagues. They felt encouraged to express their own boundaries, recognizing that honesty improved overall team dynamics. Research supports the assertion that setting boundaries can substantially improve mental health outcomes. Studies show that individuals who practice boundary setting are better equipped to express their needs, leading to increased feelings of self-efficacy and enhanced emotional resilience. These benefits are crucial for everyone, particularly for those who face mental health struggles, who may often feel overwhelmed by the demands of others. As boundaries are established, individuals can reclaim their time and energy, allowing them to focus on self-care and personal well-being. The urgency in adopting this strategy cannot be overstated. Each day that passes without asserting boundaries is a day that personal autonomy slips away, potentially leading to resentment and emotional fatigue. By prioritizing boundary setting, individuals take proactive control of their interactions, setting the foundation for stronger, more supportive connections. As we delve deeper into the nuances of boundary setting, it becomes evident that it is not merely a personal tool, but a collective movement toward healthier relationships. The ripple effect of one person's willingness to assert their boundaries can inspire others to do the same, creating a network of respect and understanding that uplifts everyone involved. In the next section, we will explore practical exercises to help readers implement these boundaries in various aspects of their lives, solidifying their newfound confidence. By taking these significant steps, you are not only nurturing your well-being, but also paving the way for a more compassionate and supportive environment for everyone you encounter. As we transition into actionable steps for setting boundaries without guilt or fear, it's essential to approach this process methodically. The first step involves reflection. Take some time each week to assess your current commitments and relationships. Consider where you feel overwhelmed or resentful. Journaling can be a helpful tool here. Jot down specific instances where you felt pressured to say yes when you wanted to say no. This reflection will help illuminate the areas of your life that require clearer boundaries. Once you've pinpointed those areas, Begin to practice assertive communication. This does not mean being confrontational, but rather expressing your needs confidently and kindly. Start with small scenarios where the stakes are low. For example, if a colleague asks for help on a task, but you feel overwhelmed, you can respond with, "I'm currently at capacity and cannot take on additional work right now. I hope you understand." Practicing these small interpersonal interactions builds your confidence to assert your boundaries in more significant situations. Next, develop a personal boundary statement that encapsulates your limits and needs. This could be a concise phrase such as, "I prioritize my mental health, and I know when I need to take a step back." Keep this statement handy so you can remind yourself of your commitment to respecting your limits whenever you're faced with a challenging situation. The more you internalize this affirmation, the more empowered you will feel in setting boundaries. To encourage small wins, set achievable, realistic goals regarding boundary setting. For instance, aim to say no to just one request per week that you would typically feel obligated to accept. Celebrate these successes, no matter how small they may seem. Rewarding yourself can reinforce positive behavior. You might treat yourself to a favorite snack, indulge in a hobby you love, or simply take a moment to reflect on your accomplishment. This focus on recognizing your victories will build momentum and create a new pattern of boundary setting in your life. Maintaining a balance between helping others and prioritizing your well-being is key throughout this process. Establish a self-care routine that includes regular check-ins with yourself. Set aside time each week for activities that rejuvenate you, whether it's exercise, reading, meditation, or simply enjoying nature. This practice ensures that you remain grounded and connected to your emotional needs while you learn to navigate new boundaries in your relationships. Remember, taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's an essential component of being able to help others in a healthy way. As you embrace the journey of boundary setting, remember that it will likely require ongoing practice and adjustment. Each interaction offers an opportunity to refine your approach and clarify your needs. By consistently advocating for your boundaries, you foster healthier environments for both yourself and those around you. As we conclude this chapter, we will delve into the next topic, exploring how to cultivate emotional resilience in the face of challenges. Recognizing that life will inevitably present obstacles is crucial for enhancing your capacity to navigate them. In the upcoming sections, we will provide you with practical strategies to strengthen your emotional foundation, ensuring that you're equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Before moving ahead, I encourage you to subscribe to Mindset Liberation for continued insights and guidance. If this chapter resonated with you, please give it a like, and feel free to share your thoughts or suggestions in the comments. Your engagement enriches our community and helps us refine our journey toward personal growth together. Remember, you are not alone on this path. Every step you take brings you closer to the empowered version of yourself. Chapter 6. Reclaiming Confidence from Narcissistic Influence. In a world where confidence is often undermined by the influences of others, especially those exhibiting narcissistic traits, recognizing and reclaiming your self-esteem becomes an essential journey. This chapter aims to empower you by illuminating the ways in which narcissistic behavior can erode your confidence and offering practical techniques to reclaim and nurture your self-worth. The challenge is common, as studies suggest that nearly 50% of individuals report feeling diminished in their self-esteem when dealing with narcissistic personalities, whether in personal relationships or work environments. Understanding how these dynamics operate allows you to take back control of your emotional and psychological well-being. The roots of this issue often trace back to early exposure to individuals who exhibit narcissistic tendencies, perhaps a parent, a teacher, or even a friend. Such relationships can foster an environment where self-worth is conditional and intertwined with another person's validation. When compliments are inconsistent or affection is contingent on performance, individuals receiving this treatment may internalize the belief that their worth is determined by how others perceive them. For example, Amy grew up receiving praise solely when she excelled at school. This pattern led to a profound sense of inadequacy whenever she faced challenges. As an adult, her confidence took a severe hit when a colleague, who regularly belittled her contributions, made her question her capabilities. This psychological manipulation can leave deep scars, convincing many that their skills and talents are not enough. The prevalence of this experience is not isolated. Many find themselves in relationships, romantic or professional, where narcissistic characteristics manifest as constant comparisons, criticism, or gaslighting. Research highlights that such toxic environments can lead to anxiety, depression, and a continuous struggle for validation. In this context, individuals often succumb to self-doubt, feeling as though they are unworthy or incapable of achieving success on their own terms. This cycle reinforces the narrative that confidence is dependent on external validation, leaving many feeling powerless. However, reclaiming your confidence is possible, and it begins with cultivating self-awareness. Acknowledging that your feelings and self-perceptions have been influenced by those around you is a critical first step. Once you recognize how narcissistic influences have shaped your view of yourself, you can start to dismantle these false narratives. Practicing self-reflection through journaling can be particularly beneficial. Take time to write about your strengths, achievements, and unique qualities that make you who you are. When you document your successes, it serves as a tangible reminder of your value and potential beyond how others perceive you. Another effective technique to boost your confidence is to establish a support system that fosters genuine validation. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift and appreciate you for who you are, rather than how you perform. Engage in spaces where positive reinforcement is the norm, whether that be supportive friendships, mentoring relationships, or communities focused on personal growth and empowerment. Having a network that encourages your journey toward self-acceptance can be transformative. Additionally, practice affirmations that reinforce your self-worth. Phrases such as, "I am valuable regardless of external opinions," or "My capabilities are not defined by others," can help reshape your inner dialogue over time. Regularly repeating these affirmations will gradually rewire your mindset, allowing you to cultivate a more resilient and confident self-image. As you embark on the journey of reclaiming confidence from the shadows of narcissistic influence, remember this: the power to redefine how you see yourself resides within you. By actively confronting the insecurity instilled by toxic relationships, nurturing self-awareness, and invoking positive support, you can take charge of your emotional destiny. In the next part of this chapter, we will delve deeper into practical strategies to further solidify your reclaimed confidence and dismantle residual effects of past influences. Remember, confidence isn't a static state. It's a continuous journey of self-discovery and empowerment that you are fully capable of navigating. Continuing the theme of reclaiming confidence from narcissistic influence, it is vital to understand why the strategies discussed are effective, not only for individuals seeking to rebuild their self-esteem, but also for those navigating mental health challenges. The act of regenerating confidence serves as a powerful antidote to the self-doubt instilled by narcissistic behaviors. When individuals engage in self-reflection, surround themselves with supportive communities, and utilize affirmations, they create a buffer against the negative impact of external validation. This is particularly important for individuals with mental health challenges, who may already be susceptible to feelings of inadequacy and insecurity due to their circumstances. Consider the experience of Mark, a man who had long struggled with anxiety stemming from a highly critical work environment. His manager often employed narcissistic tactics, offering praise only when Mark exceeded expectations and employing sharp criticism when he fell short. Over time, Mark's self-esteem plummeted, and he began dreading work-related tasks, fearing failure. However, after attending a workshop focused on personal development and assertiveness, Mark learned the importance of surrounding himself with supportive colleagues. He began to confide in a trusted coworker about the challenges he faced, and in turn, found a space for mutual encouragement. This camaraderie not only helped Mark recognize his value, but also provided a safe haven for discussing strategies to cope with his workplace stressors. Research supports the notion that a strong support network can significantly enhance self-esteem and mitigate anxiety. Studies indicate that individuals who engage in supportive relationships tend to experience decreased symptoms of depression and anxiety, underscoring the value of community in mental well-being. A support system can help redirect negative thoughts and reinforce positive ones, creating a collective environment where confidence can flourish. Similarly, Sarah, who dealt with feelings of inadequacy due to her relationships with narcissistic friends, found solace through affirmations and self-reflection. She started to devote time each morning to write down 3 things she appreciated about herself, along with positive affirmations. This habit shifted her focus from the negative feedback she had received to a celebration of her strengths and accomplishments. Over time, this consistent practice reshaped her internal dialogue, allowing her to confront her friends' manipulative behaviors with a newfound sense of self-worth. Rather than feeling diminished by their criticisms, she was empowered to prioritize her own emotional health and make choices that aligned with her values. The effectiveness of these strategies lies in their ability to cultivate a sense of autonomy. When individuals actively engage in practices that reinforce their self-worth, they reclaim the narrative of their lives from those who would seek to diminish them. This narrative shift is particularly profound for individuals grappling with their mental health. By focusing on positive self-affirmation and surrounding themselves with supportive influences, those struggling with anxiety and depression can uncover their intrinsic value, creating a powerful incentive to challenge any remaining self-doubt. Ultimately, fostering confidence in the face of narcissistic influence is a continuous journey, one that requires patience and commitment. Each small victory, whether it's advocating for oneself at work, practicing daily affirmations, or cultivating supportive friendships, builds the momentum needed to overcome past insecurities. Encouragingly, as individuals reinforce their self-worth, they not only improve their own mental health, but also enhance their relationships with others, paving the way for more authentic, balanced connections. As we move forward into the next section of this chapter, we will explore practical exercises designed to strengthen your self-esteem and further insulate you from the effects of narcissistic influences. By equipping yourself with these tools, you will be empowered to navigate the complexities of self-identity and emotional resilience. Remember, you are not defined by the opinions of others. Your journey toward reclaiming confidence is yours to navigate, and every step you take is a declaration of your worth. As we transition into actionable steps for reclaiming your confidence from narcissistic influences, it's essential to approach the process with intentionality. The first step involves a commitment to self-reflection. Set aside time each day to engage in introspective journaling. Begin by writing down situations where you felt undermined or insecure due to the influence of others. Identifying these moments will help you understand the specific triggers that affect your self-esteem. This practice cultivates self-awareness and lays the groundwork for your journey toward greater confidence. Next, develop a personal affirmation practice. Create a list of statements that resonate with your self-worth and capabilities. For example, you might write, "I am worthy of respect," or "My efforts are valuable." Each morning, read these affirmations aloud or write them down in your journal. Repeating positive affirmations helps retrain your mind, shifting your focus from external validation to an internal sense of self-acceptance. This technique can be especially effective after experiencing a setback or criticism, serving as a gentle reminder of your intrinsic value. In parallel with affirmations, engage in visualization exercises. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing yourself in scenarios where you feel confident and secure. Picture yourself standing up for your needs, calmly expressing your opinions, or achieving your goals. Visualization activates the brain's pathways to success and reinforces the belief that you can embody the confidence you seek. The more vividly you can imagine these scenarios, the more real they become, reinforcing your ability to face similar situations in real life. To build momentum, aim for small wins that affirm your confidence. Start by setting achievable goals that align with your aspirations. For instance, decide to speak up in a meeting or share a personal accomplishment with someone you trust. Celebrate these victories, no matter how small, as they reinforce the notion that you are capable and deserving of recognition. Acknowledging progress is crucial. It transforms your mindset from one of self-doubt to one of empowerment. Another vital aspect of this journey is learning to establish boundaries effectively. As you work to reclaim your confidence, practice saying no to situations that drain your energy or undermine your self-worth. Role-play scenarios with a trusted friend, rehearsing how to communicate your limits assertively yet kindly. For example, if a colleague repeatedly undermines your ideas in meetings, practice saying, "I appreciate your feedback, but I'd like to share my perspective without interruptions." This clarity not only protects your self-esteem, but also fosters respectful communication. Maintaining a healthy balance between helping others and prioritizing your well-being is essential throughout this journey. As you develop confidence and assertiveness, remind yourself that your emotional health is paramount. Schedule regular self-care days where you engage in activities that nurture your spirit, whether that means spending time in nature, practicing mindfulness, or simply enjoying your favorite hobby. These moments are crucial for grounding yourself and ensuring you can be present for others from a place of strength rather than depletion. As this chapter concludes, we will delve deeper into practical exercises that further solidify your confidence and help you dismantle any lingering impacts of narcissistic behavior. You will learn strategies that encourage not just resilience, but joy in your individuality and self-acceptance. Remember, reclaiming your confidence is a journey. Embrace every step as a testament to your strength and worth. Before proceeding, I invite you to subscribe to Mindset Liberation for more transformative insights. If this chapter has resonated with you, please give it a like and share your thoughts or suggestions in the comments. Your engagement helps foster a supportive community and shapes our collective journey toward empowerment and growth. Let's continue this path together, as each of us deserves to thrive in our authenticity. Chapter 7: Helping Without Enabling Toxic Patterns. Navigating the delicate balance between providing support and enabling toxic behavior is a crucial skill that can empower you and those around you. This chapter explores how to offer assistance without falling into the traps of unhealthy dependency or manipulation. Recognizing when your help crosses the line into enabling is vital for healthy interactions, particularly for individuals dealing with those who exhibit narcissistic traits or other unhealthy patterns. Research suggests that roughly 70% of people grappling with emotional issues might inadvertently enable toxic behaviors in their loved ones, often due to a misguided sense of loyalty or responsibility. This insight underscores the importance of learning how to help without compromising your own well-being. The origins of enabling behavior often stem from our upbringing and the societal messages we receive about care and compassion. For instance, many grow up in environments where caretaking is rewarded, leading them to equate self-worth with the need to always assist others. This mindset can result in a cycle of enabling, where helping becomes a means to avoid conflict or garner approval. For example, consider the story of Lisa, who felt compelled to cater to her partner's every emotional need. While her intentions were rooted in love, her constant availability ultimately led to her partner developing a reliance on her, stifling his personal growth and emotional independence. Lisa's experience illustrates how even well-meaning support can morph into enabling, stripping individuals of the opportunity to develop resilience. Statistics further solidify this pressing issue. A study conducted by the American Psychological Association found that many people struggle with setting boundaries in relationships, often leading to codependency dynamics where one person continually rescues the other. Letting go of the ingrained notion that helping others equates to self-worth is essential for breaking this cycle. It is important to challenge the belief that your value is inherently tied to the relief of others' discomfort or struggles. The good news is that learning to help without enabling is not only possible, but immensely liberating. The first step involves cultivating awareness around your motivations for helping. Before offering assistance, ask yourself how your actions might affect the other person. Are you genuinely helping, or are you merely alleviating your discomfort? This self-inquiry sets the tone for healthier interactions and encourages you to offer support that fosters growth instead of reliance. Another effective strategy is to implement the concept of empowerment. Shift your approach from solving problems for others to encouraging them to solve their own. Instead of providing immediate solutions, guide them toward resources or strategies they can explore independently. For instance, when your friend expresses a recurring issue, rather than diving in to fix it, you might say, "Have you considered exploring some options or talking to a professional about this?" This simple shift encourages them to take ownership of their challenges and reinforces their capacity for self-sufficiency. Establishing clear boundaries is also key in this process. Communicate your limits openly to ensure others understand that while you are willing to help, you will not compromise your own well-being. Practice saying no when necessary and recognize that doing so does not diminish your value as a friend, partner, or family member. Instead, it maintains the integrity of your relationships by preventing unhealthy dynamics from taking root. As we delve deeper into the intricacies of helping without enabling, remember that the journey requires patience, self-reflection, and often a willingness to confront uncomfortable emotions. Empowerment, boundaries, and healthy communication are essential pillars that support both your well-being and that of others. In the forthcoming sections, we will explore practical techniques to further enhance your ability to navigate these challenging dynamics while fostering an environment of mutual growth and respect. You have the power to support others without sacrificing your emotional needs, and every step you take toward this balance is a testament to your strength and resilience. Continuing our exploration of how to help without enabling toxic patterns, it is essential to understand why this strategy is beneficial for both the individual providing support and the person facing mental health challenges. When boundaries are established and support is framed in a way that fosters autonomy, everyone involved can thrive. For the helper, it alleviates the emotional burden that often accompanies enabling behaviors, reducing feelings of guilt and resentment. For individuals dealing with mental health issues, gaining independence is crucial for building self-efficacy and resilience. When they are encouraged to engage in their healing process, rather than relying on others for every solution, they begin to cultivate a sense of agency that is empowering and transformative. Consider the case of Sam, a college student who struggled with depression. His close friend Jenna had been his primary emotional support for years, always stepping in to help him navigate his challenges, often at the expense of her own mental well-being. While Jenna's intentions were noble, her constant intervention unintentionally set a precedent wherein Sam relied solely on her for encouragement and motivation. This dynamic inhibited Sam's ability to develop his coping skills, leaving him feeling powerless whenever Jenna wasn't around. When Jenna began to recognize that she was enabling Sam's dependence, she decided to shift her approach by encouraging him to seek professional help and developing his coping mechanisms. Jenna started asking Sam questions to help him explore options, saying things like, "What do you think you could do to feel better on your own?" Or, "Have you thought about talking to a counselor about this?" By empowering Sam to identify solutions independently, Jenna fostered his capacity to tackle his mental health challenges. This adjustment not only strengthened Sam's resilience, but also improved Jenna's emotional state. Instead of feeling burdened, she began to see the fruits of her friend's growth, allowing her to support him as a peer rather than a caretaker. Research underscores the effectiveness of this strategy in mental health contexts. Studies have shown that individuals who engage in self-help behaviors or seek professional assistance experience better long-term outcomes when compared to those who remain in dependency relationships. Empowering individuals battling mental health issues encourages them to take responsibility for their healing, ultimately leading to healthier relationships that are based on mutual respect rather than obligation. Furthermore, the shift from enabling to empowerment creates a more balanced dynamic in relationships. When individuals learn to manage their challenges, they can articulate their needs more effectively. For instance, when Sarah, another case study, began setting boundaries with her family members who often relied on her for emotional labor, she found that they started to develop healthier methods of coping as well. By directing her family to seek support from counselors or attend group therapy, Sarah was able to step back while encouraging growth in her loved ones. The urgency in adopting this approach lies in the recognition that enabling behaviors, though often well-intentioned, can lead to long-term patterns of dependency that are harmful to both parties. Understanding that your assistance can inadvertently hinder another's growth is crucial for healthy relationships. By taking steps toward helping without enabling, you empower others to navigate their challenges independently, providing the necessary support without becoming enmeshed in their struggles. As we continue this chapter, we will delve into specific strategies and practical techniques to ensure that you can maintain this balance effectively. Learning how to provide constructive support while preserving your mental and emotional health is a vital skill that pays dividends for everyone involved. You are fully capable of supporting your loved ones while still prioritizing your own well-being. Each step in this direction is a testament to the power of healthy relationships. Together, we can foster an environment where both support and independence coexist, creating lasting, meaningful connections. As we move into actionable steps for helping without enabling toxic patterns, it's essential to take a structured approach that prioritizes both your emotional health and that of the person you're supporting. The first step is to identify the scenarios in which you tend to overextend yourself. Reflect on past situations where your assistance may have contributed to dependency rather than empowerment. Engage in journaling as a practice to clarify your thoughts and feelings. Write down instances where you felt your support was excessive, and consider what cues led to you taking on that role. This self-awareness is the cornerstone of making informed changes in how you offer help moving forward. Next, develop a clear understanding of what support looks like versus what enabling behaviors entail. In times of distress, it's easy to slip into patterns that inadvertently perpetuate a cycle of reliance. Create a simple chart for yourself, distinguishing between supportive phrases and enabling phrases. For example, instead of saying, "Let me handle that for you," reframe it to, "How do you plan to tackle that problem?" Practicing these conversational shifts will empower the person seeking help to take their own steps, promoting independence and growth while preserving your emotional balance. To further cultivate this approach, engage in role-playing exercises with a trusted friend or family member. Take turns practicing these conversations, where one person plays the role of the person seeking help, while the other adopts the supportive but non-enabling role. By rehearsing these interactions, you will feel more comfortable implementing these responses in real life. This preparation can help to ease any anxiety you may feel about the shift from a caretaking role to an empowering one. Setting boundaries is also crucial in this process. It's important to communicate openly with the person you are assisting about the limits of what you are willing and able to provide. Consider having an honest discussion about your availability and emotional capacity. For instance, you might say, "I want to be a source of support for you, but I also need to ensure I am taking care of myself. Can we set specific times to talk about what you're going through?" This dialogue establishes mutual respect and clarity in the relationship, making it evident that your well-being matters alongside their needs. Additionally, celebrate small victories along the way. Make it a practice to recognize moments when you successfully offer support without slipping into enabling patterns. Perhaps you guided a friend to seek professional advice instead of solving their problems for them. Acknowledge that achievement with a positive affirmation or reward yourself in some way, perhaps by treating yourself to a favorite activity or simply taking a moment to appreciate your growth. Maintaining a healthy balance between helping others and caring for yourself is vital. Set aside regular time each week dedicated to self-care and reflection. Engage in activities that rejuvenate you, such as meditation, exercise, or creative pursuits. This practice not only prevents burnout, but also reinforces the mindset that your emotional health is paramount. As you continue this journey of helping without enabling, remember that transformation takes time and patience. By embedding these practices into your daily interactions, you cultivate an environment conducive to growth for both yourself and those you care about. The shifts you make will foster deeper connections based on mutual respect and shared responsibility. In conclusion, this journey through toxic perfection, how covert narcissists weaponize flattery, has illuminated the crucial dynamics of navigating relationships influenced by narcissistic behaviors, particularly recognizing emotional manipulation disguised as concern. We have explored the importance of setting boundaries without guilt, the need to reclaim your confidence from toxic influences, and how to provide support without enabling harmful patterns. Each chapter provides valuable insights and practical tools designed to empower you, helping you reclaim your emotional health and fostering healthier relationships grounded in mutual respect and understanding. By engaging in self-reflection, practicing assertiveness, and nurturing supportive environments, you can break free from the cycles of dependency and build a foundation of resilience. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and invest in your personal growth. Your journey toward emotional well-being is vital, and each step you take matters. If you found this content beneficial, please give it a like, comment with your thoughts or experiences, and consider subscribing to our channel for more empowering insights. Together, we can create a supportive community focused on growth, self-acceptance, and resilience.